What's up? Yeah. All right. Hey, everybody. What's up? Let's get some social justice going on. Yeah. Now, I mean, it's the thing about political art is generally when you talk to people about it, they look at you like, oh my God, this is the most boring subject in the world, and you may be the most boring person. But that's not true. It's actually awesome. But we got to keep telling ourselves that, no, it's not true. But you know, people that work at the intersection, who am I to tell you? People that work at the intersection between art and politics live a kind of sad world that we need friends because we're up against a lot. And so, in a way, the summit is an opportunity to say, I really think the only goal of all of this is just be like, you're not alone. Are you wrestling with your artistic needs and your basic human instinct for reasonable equity? You're not alone. That's a reasonable thing to want. That's okay. But in some ways, we feel alone all the time with it. So, live streaming this across the world and having partners and such is an opportunity to just say, you are not alone. We have in every country around this, whether it's capitalism or just straight up feudalism, certainly corruption is a kind of catch-all phrase for a kind of something that's pretty hot and trendy right now. Confronting that, no matter what country you're in, you feel alone. It was 1 year ago, strangely enough, in this very room, that Occupy was in its seventh day. And just thinking about that 1 year later, as we all are right now, it's such a delicate time because I remember sitting up here and we're doing a conference on, anyone that's done art and activism long enough knows the basic thing, which is you go to a talk around art and social change or just social change, and if there's any demonstration anywhere in the city, people will be like, that's the problem with everything. You're talking too much. We got to do it. And certainly it was the case with the summit where everyone's like, oh, all these famous artists of social justice, you don't need to be talking. You got to go down to Wall Street, get into Zuccotti Park, and make the revolution happen. And we felt this kind of urge, an urgency and power, of the time of talk needs to happen in public space, at the intersection of power, right there, literally at Wall Street. And that's what we kind of did. We started organizing. We just walked down there. I mean, we had the summit. Okay, fair enough. And then we walked down there. And it was an amazing, wild, incredibly empowering ride for the last year. And of course, this wasn't just in the US, but in cahoots with the Arab Spring, with the movements in Athens, in Madrid, in Moscow. The world was erupting, and still is, in this kind of confronting of vast inequity. Here we are now, a year later, in the United States, everyone's like, Mitt Romney. It was only 4 months ago that my Facebook page was all full of comments that were like, forget the elections. It will suck you in. Don't go down the rabbit hole of US elections. I think we're kind of in the rabbit hole. It's hard to not be afraid of the right sometimes. But it seems at this summit, one thing that's similar to last year, and of course we know this, is that the inequities that we were talking about have not gone away globally. The movements may have shifted, but the kind of intransigent conditions of oppression feel all the more insane. So we need a community. We need a bunch of people that feel like they're not alone, because clearly the numbers are there, but the power is all there all the more. That's what we're here to talk about today, about how to confront inequity as a global community, not of countries, but of people trying to fight that. And clearly it takes a lot of work. Occupy Wall Street went to 7 cities in the United States in the course of 3 weeks. I live in Philly, and even the suburb outside of Philly had to occupy. That's when I knew something crazy was happening. Not when it spread to Oakland, I got that one. But the suburbs? Oh, that's dear to my heart. So listen, I know that in some ways we might sit here and say, oh, what an amazing year, and feel kind of down that revolution didn't happen. but we're in it for the long haul. We're in it for social justice is going to take a lot of work, and it takes a lot of conversation between us. And, you know, some of the artists pulling out of this summit, I understand. You know, when it comes to issues like Israel-Palestine, it's a loaded issue. I get that. I get that. We are wrestling with these issues here deeply. Our commitment is deep. We're not afraid of taking them on. Let's talk about this stuff. Let's get it on the table. And let's find a way as a global community to wrestle power into a kind of more equitable social justice situation. So that's what I want to say. We have a huge lineup today. As you know, feel free to drink water and hydrate in your marathon journey through inspiration. Our lineup, we start with a performance by Pablo Helguera. Then it transitions to our keynote, Martha Rossler. And then our section on inequities, Malkia Cyril, Los Angeles Poverty Department, Joya Mukherjee, SCART, and Tearing Patty. It's going to be incredible. Take notes, have fun, get to know each other, and let's make a broader community. Please join me in welcoming to the stage Pablo Helguera.